You might be growing chili peppers or bell peppers at home, and maybe in the past when you've grew these you've ended up with really tall plants and not a lot of fruit on them either. But there's another way that you can grow these and maximise the yield of every plant that you do, and it's called topping. And although it looks quite brutal, if you want to get a bushier plant that sends out more branches which will then bear more fruit, then try topping it. I've done this before in the past and it's worked perfectly fine. But if you're unsure, don't top all your plants. Just try one and then see what happens with it over a couple of weeks. So when you do this, make sure you've got a really good sharp pair of scissors, and they're really clean. Sterilised is better. And when you take your plant, you need to count your leaves. So first off, don't include this one at the bottom here. That's your first leaf that came out. Your next one up from that is your first true leaf, then your second true leaf, and your third true leaf, and onwards. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove all that top. I know, it sounds brutal, but it's going to get you, as I said, a bushier, stronger plant that in the long run is going to produce more fruit for you. So what you need to do is find that point after 3 sets of true leaves and then take everything above that away. So normally you would have 4 sets of leaves on your plant. I've only really got 3 sets of leaves on this plant at the moment, but we're going to use this as an example anyway. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So go in there and then cut this off at an angle like that. And that's basically all you're left with. And as I said, it looks really brutal. You've put all that time and effort into growing this plant and then you've basically butchered it. But you'll see a difference. If I get close up, you should be able to see on this plant little side shoots right there. In between your leaves, there's one there. And there's another one there. There's 3 altogether on this plant. I'm hoping that you can see them. So you've got 3 little side shoots on this thing. So because you've now taken that top off, what this plant will do now is it will put all its energy into these side shoots. And those side shoots are going to turn into branches, which are going to produce flowers, which are then going to become peppers. So rather than having a tall plant with 3 or 4 branches sticking out with maybe 1 pepper on each branch, this is going to slowly grow up, but it's also going to bush out because your top will regrow. Albeit slow, it will grow and it will still keep trying to grow, and then it will also grow outwards. So by doing this, ultimately, as sad as that plant actually looks now, in the long run you will get more fruit from it. But just make sure when you do this that you've got your sterilised scissors and you cut it at an angle so that the water runs off and does not sit on the top. So as I said, if you fancy trying that but you're a bit dubious, which is perfectly understandable, then try one. Try one, see what happens with it in a couple of weeks' time, and then compare it to your other plants. Also, if you look on top of this plant, it's trying to grow a flower already, right there. Now, with a plant of such a young age, you don't want it trying to put energy into producing flowers to make fruit. It's not big enough. It's not got a strong enough root system. So what you need to do is just take it off. Just pinch it off. You don't want that happening. You want to get it to a good size before it even thinks about fruiting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video to some extent. And if you want to try it, try it. But maybe just try it on one plant if you're a little uncertain. But I will come back to this one in a couple of weeks' time and show you how it looks. And maybe it will give you that little push just to try it if you have not already. If you want to see what happens with that plant, and maybe a couple more that I'll do as well, then just hit that subscribe button and press the notifications bell, and we'll see you next time.